This episode of the D-Lew podcast is brought to you by Happy Wrap. You ever wanted to design your very own gift wrapping paper? Now is your chance to do so. Whether it's for the holiday season, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, no matter what the occasion calls for, you can use Happy Wrap to wrap your gifts. As a matter of fact, you can even design notebooks, greeting cards, gift tags, and so much more. You can sign up today at happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use the promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. By Simpler Hair Color. Hey guys, are you tired of using that drugstore hair dye brand that isn't getting the job done? If you want to use a great product to cover those grays, have no fear, Simpler Hair Color is here. No mixing, no dripping, no mess. It's super easy to use, whether you're a beginner or a pro. Go to simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use my promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. And by WWE Shop with Fanatics. Get your favorite WWE superstars merchandise and wear them proud with superstars like the OTC Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, the Second City Saint CM Punk, John Cena, Main Event Jey Uso, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and so many more. Oh, by the way, they got some really cool championship belts in there as well. So go to wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com. Again, that's wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com so you can go to WWE Shop with Fanatics. This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production. Welcome to another edition of the D-Lew podcast powered by Believe Network. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis, and I want to apologize, guys, for last week with no episode. And quite frankly, I needed a break. I needed a break. There was a holiday last week. Gave myself some time away. Went to the beach. A nice day at the beach. It was really awesome. But I also had to prepare for the very long weekend that was Fanatics Fest. I was chosen once again by Fanatics Fest for media. So I want to thank Fanatics for giving me the opportunity to cover the event. And there's going to be some footage just already on my YouTube channel already. One where I interviewed a cosplay Iron Sheik, second year in a row rather. And I actually covered the SummerSlam press conference. The press conference, my God, it was incredible. Of course, you had Cena, Orton, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, and a host of WWE superstars, getting ready for the biggest night of the summer. Whoa, wait a minute. Not just the biggest night of the summer, the biggest weekend of the summer, because now SummerSlam is 2 nights this year at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, home of 2 WrestleManias, I might add. So, SummerSlam, nice way to kick off the SummerSlam press conference, in the New York City metropolitan area. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about also hitting up the shop hosted by LeBron James, of course, produced by LeBron James, rather. They actually had a barber shop there at Fanatics Fest where they gave free haircuts. And, shout out to Brandon from Rhode Island. They hooked me up with a nice little shape up there and to get me right for Saturday morning. It was really, really awesome, really good experience. And I also did attend an episode of The Shop. You had Kai Cenat, who's a worldwide streamer and one of the most popular streamers in the world. You had from the San Antonio Spurs, Wemby. And of course, you have my boy, the GOAT, 7-time Super Bowl champion, Tom Brady. And they were just talking about how they're, so successful in their worlds and what they do. So it was pretty neat to, attend that episode of The Shop. And I can't wait to see it when it is available. But I want to talk about, of course, before I get the Night of Champions, I do want to talk about SmackDown. Today is a Friday, which I am actually recording on. I'm recording on a Friday night. Although SmackDown is technically going on in the States, it was pre-recorded. Of course, if you're outside of the United States, you were able to watch SmackDown on Netflix. And I know they had some technical difficulties over in Saudi Arabia, but nonetheless, they were able to get things done. And I want to talk about the promo between John Cena and CM Punk. And of course, if you guys were hiding under a rock, of course, John Cena last Friday on SmackDown did his own version of the pipe bomb. And of course, today, as I'm recording this, it is 14 years since the CM Punk pipe bomb. I can't believe how fast time has gone. But like I said, John Cena did the pipe bomb while not Cena, but Punk was laid out, you know, took a table spot, so he was just laying there for like 7 minutes as like Cena berated him. But of course, you got to one up somebody. And what does CM Punk do? He comes out as the doctor of Punkonomics. Yes, right. There was a graphic that said Punk Life. He comes out as old school John Cena with a throwback Chicago Cubs jersey, the chain and the lock, a Chicago Bulls snapback baseball cap, and a pair of jorts in accord of his Jordan ones, of course. And he did a nice freestyle. I'm not gonna lie to you. Check it out. It's gonna be on WWE's YouTube channel. It's probably up there by now. By the time you guys are listening to this podcast, and I gotta tell you, it was pretty entertaining. And speaking of CM Punk, earlier today, they had the Night of Champions. I guess the pre-show, I guess you want to call it. They had their rally outside of the arena or inside wherever they were. But for those that don't know, CM Punk had tweeted The Miz 6 years ago about, of course, taking blood money and that type of thing. Punk was outside of the company, and he was still, just it was still a lot of animosity between him and the company at that time. So now that he is in Saudi Arabia, everyone was questioning whether or not he was going to be there. And of course, there were those that called him a hypocrite. There was a lot of, stones being thrown in his direction. And there was a chorus of boos today, for CM Punk. He addressed the crowd. He apologized. As a matter of fact, a fan that was in the crowd named Muhammad demanded that CM Punk apologize publicly, to that crowd. And CM Punk actually did it. Now, there were some on social media that how do I put this? They were saying, "Oh, he's a sellout, he's a hypocrite," but the man apologized. My thing is this: there's a lot of cowards in today where they don't apologize, or they'll use social media to apologize and just be done with it. They'll just tweet it and that's it. CM Punk went in front of a few thousand people and apologized for what he said. And if you can't accept that, if you can't, if that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you because he did a whole lot more than somebody else we all know. And I'm not going to even refer to him because I really don't have that much energy to even go there, but you all know where I'm going. But nonetheless, it was good on CM Punk for doing what he did. But of course, we're going to break down this weekend's Night of Champions card. Well, wait a minute. We have 6 matches? Are you kidding me? We have 6 matches, y'all. I cannot wait to dissect some of these matches and what I think, what's going to happen and who's going to win these matches. So we're going to go down the list, no in no particular order. We have a just a singles match between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Now, for all that's been following, Karrion Kross has been in the thorn in the side rather of Sami Zayn for the last maybe few months. He tried to get him to come to the dark side. You need to cheat to win type situation, and Sami Zayn's not time to hear it. Now, to me, I think who needs to win more is Karrion Kross because right now, all he's doing is wrestling on main event, and he's been getting an incredible response, by the way, an incredible response from the fans. He's been really doing things to really get himself over. They're now selling his merchandise at arena shows, at whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or even at PLEs. They're selling Karrion Kross merchandise. So my thing is, if he has to cheat, all right, cool. He's a heel. He's supposed to cheat. I see Karrion Kross, winning this match, and I hope that they have something for him because again, I don't like reading into rumors, but there is some type of rumor that his contract ends sometime this summer. I don't know when, but he is a valuable asset to WWE. This is a guy that goes out of his way to film his own promos and vignettes and all those things outside of the company. So if I'm Triple H or whoever has the pencil there, I would definitely have Karrion Kross go over. And Sami Zayn is already Teflon. He's untouchable. So if he loses, it's not going to hurt Sami Zayn if he loses this match because he's still going to be beloved no matter where he goes, where he wrestles, etc., etc. So that's my take on that match. We're going to go on to a street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. I like this match because number one, it's Rhea's not in the title picture right now. Well, it's hard to say that because whenever you're a top superstar, you're always going to be in the top in the title picture. I don't care who it is, male, female, whatever. You're always going to be in the title picture, especially when you're a bigger superstar as Rhea Ripley. But I think it kind of gives her a little bit of a detour before she gets back into that main event spot or that title picture. And Raquel Rodriguez is the perfect opponent for her. I like the fact that they're keeping the tag team titles on Raquel Rodriguez, and I'm thinking they're going to probably have Roxanne Perez take Liv Morgan's place while Liv Morgan is going to be out for a significant period of time with a shoulder injury. By the way, prayers and positive vibes and big love to Liv Morgan as she heals from surgery, from a very, very tough injury. And like anything else, like in pro wrestling, it ain't ballet. And injuries can happen at any time. So best wishes to Liv Morgan on speedy recovery and come back bigger, better than ever. But anyways, getting back to this match, I think it's not going to hurt Raquel. Like I was saying earlier about Sami Zayn, how it's not going to hurt Sami to lose the match to Karrion Kross. I don't think it's going to hurt Raquel Rodriguez to lose this match to Rhea because I think if Rhea is going to start climbing the mountain again, this is the perfect match for her to do that. So I think Rhea's going to win the match. It's gonna, and I hope they get some time too. You figure it's a street fight. Who knows? They may end up at, well, I don't know if it's going to end up in the crowd, but it's hopefully they can do some things in there because I don't know what the rules are over in Saudi Arabia, what they can and cannot do. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, we have the United States Championship match between the champion Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Oh man, I like how they've come to this now, how they were building this, eventual turn, as far as Solo or Jacob turning on Solo rather. Because, you know, we all seen it. Solo's been kind of using Jacob Fatu as kind of his weapon, his personal instrument of destruction, should I say. And we've all seen these stories happen before where you start to use him a little too much, he doesn't appreciate him. And of course, at the Money in the Bank ladder match, Jacob yanked him down and cost Solo the match because Solo could have been the one that's cashing in on could be cashing in on the champion, but he is not, and that is due to Jacob Fatu. Now, I don't see Jacob Fatu losing the United States Championship so quickly, being that he just won it at WrestleMania. I doubt it. Um, who knows what's going to happen from now? But nonetheless, I see Jacob Fatu retaining the United States Championship belt, and hopefully we could see some players being added to this. I guess you want to call it a Bloodline Civil War 2.0 storyline. I'm wondering who's going to help Jacob. That makes me wonder. Now, I know it's too soon. I know that is, how do I put this? I don't know, because I know he's not signed right now, but this would have been a perfect spot for Zilla Fatu to be in the mix. But I know he's out there doing his thing on the indies. He's with The Row, on Reality of Wrestling. He's doing Hog, House of Glory. He's at Fourth Rope down in Texas. Shout out to West Side Gun down there that's doing some incredible stuff with the fourth rope wrestling. But Jacob's going to retain the championship, and we'll see what happens. I alluded to it earlier about the John Cena and CM Punk match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Um, of course, in a match of this magnitude, I don't see John Cena winning this match cleanly because he's clearly been doing some horrible things with people, hitting them with belts and low blows and you name it. He's been doing it all. But I think the match is going to get some time, a lot of time, and there's never ever been a bad CM Punk John Cena match. It's crazy to think they haven't wrestled each other, if I'm not mistaken, since the Raw in March of 2013, where the winner was going to face The Rock at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Because I think that was a time where Cena won the Rumble, and I know Punk was still trying to get in the main event of WrestleMania, and I think Cena put his Mania spot on the line against CM Punk, and I can tell you that Raw match, that's probably one of the greatest matches in Raw history. That's where I'm not Cena, but Punk brought out a pile driver, which was the banned move in the WWE during that time. So again, history in the making. But I love CM Punk, but John Cena is going to win this match. I see him, it could be, who knows, it could be a disqualification. He might get disqualified, but if he gets disqualified, he gets to hold the championship. And I think that also protects Punk as well from being pinned. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. And maybe Punk might get a rematch at SummerSlam because I'm going to SummerSlam, damn it. And I want to see Punk wrestle for the title. That'll be awesome, but we'll see. All right, so we have the Queen of the Ring tournament final match between Asuka and Jade Cargill, and right now, with Jade being on SmackDown, and I believe Asuka is a Raw superstar. I believe. I think it's going to benefit Jade right now to become the Queen of the Ring. It's really going to put the shine on her, and then of course the winner of these finals matches are going to get a World Championship match at SummerSlam. Now, hmm, Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton, really intriguing. But I think, and I don't want to go too far ahead, but I think this really sets up something for Naomi to cash in at some point. I could totally see Jay Cargill, and I'm sure when Gabby comes back, we'll be able to talk about the SummerSlam preview show and that type of thing when that time does come. But I'm thinking Jay does win Queen of the Ring. She challenges Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam. She wins the match, and Naomi then cashes in on Jade Cargill and becomes the new WWE Women's Champion. But I think that prolongs the feud with Jade Cargill and Naomi. So look out for that. And of course, the last match on the card will be the King of the Ring men's final. Of course, the King of the Ring final between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. They had a really good promo tonight on SmackDown. I really enjoyed it. It really touches about, their past. You know what I mean? Cody brought up the fact where Randy actually slapped Dusty Rhodes in the face, and then how he was under his leadership, his guidance when he was in Legacy. He was in Legacy with DiBiase Jr. and Manu. Of course, that's Alpha Jr. at that time. But I see Cody winning this match to go to face Cena at SummerSlam. We see Cena at SummerSlam, but I think this is where Randy Orton strikes. The Viper bites. And I think Randy Orton is going to turn on Cody Rhodes. And I think we're going to finally get the Cody Rhodes Randy Orton feud. And I think this is where Randy Orton gets to go in his bag and just talk about some deep storytelling about hell. I taught you everything you know, and you left, and bring that up. And Cody leading, back in 2016 to do things outside of the company and those things. So I see some long-term storytelling coming out of that match with the King of the Ring final. But it would be cool to for Cody to win and see what happens from there. But that's my thoughts on the King of the Ring match and this the Night of Champions match overall, or the Night of Champions pay-per-view. But what's crazy is that there's two title matches in this Night of Champions. I don't get it. Because this would have been the event to have all the title matches on there, including the the King of the Ring final and the Queen of the Ring final. But who am I? I'm just a podcaster. But before I get out of here, guys, I want to remind you all once again to subscribe to the D-Lew podcast on all platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, my YouTube channel as well. Derrick T. Lewis, the real D-Lew, or that you can look up the D-Lew podcast in the search engine. If you haven't done so, subscribe on YouTube. So you hit the bell, hit all. So you get all new content, whether it's the D-Lew podcast or even this past weekends when I did the SummerSlam press conference. The whole entire SummerSlam press conference from my vantage point is on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and check that out. You can follow the D-Lew podcast on social media at the D-Lew podcast. You can follow me on social media at the real D-Lew. You can hit up my pro wrestling tee store, all wrestling themed t-shirts, pwt.derricklewis.com, and you can also follow the Derrick T. Lewis official merchandise store, shop.derricklewis.com, where you can get the official Nike merch, the Nike collection, where you can get dry fit tees, pullover fleece hoodies. I even have a hat on there as well. It's a D-Lew podcast hat with the Nike swoosh sign on it. Who does not want to have that? But before I get out of here, I want to give a huge shout out to Dave LaGreca over at Busted Open Radio on Sirius XM. They just inked a deal where they are now a 24/7 pro wrestling channel. Huge kudos to every single person that's involved with the show. Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Thunder Rosa, Mickey James, Nick Nemeth, Matt Cardona, Bishop Dyer. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jonathan Hood, Justin LaBar, Matt Camp, Denise Salcedo, everybody that's involved with Busted Open Radio. Natalia, who's recently come on as an on-air talent. I'm a part of the Busted Open Nation. I'm a big fan of the show, and the sky's the limit now. You know what I mean? Endless opportunities. I would love to throw my name in the hat to be a host on one of some of those shows, or to be a co-host, or whatever the case may be. I would love to be a part of that action. You better believe it. So once again, and I love seeing where pro wrestling is as hot as it's ever been, and everyone is reaping the benefits of it. Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of here. And as I always say, no matter what it is you do in life, always remember to make it count. See you next time.